life is going to hit you hard. And sometimes it hits some people harder than others, but you got to get back up.
There's somebody out there that can relate, you know, and that's maybe probably going through the same thing. And dude, you have such an amazing story. And I was like, bro, I'm sure it could inspire somebody else out there. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Hey everybody, it's 𝐥𝐢𝐟𝐞 with Podcast 23. I'm really excited because this is the first in-person interview that I've ever done. If you guys have been following me for a while, I've done a lot of virtual interviews and podcast shows, and I couldn't have asked for anybody else but Jeremiah. Just a quick backstory. Jeremiah and I met at a park. We both have sons, and I took my son to the park and I saw Jeremiah there, and we just had a great conversation. And I think it's really an important one that we'd really love to share with people out there. So thank you for being here, man. And how you feeling today?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I feel honored being your first online guest. A little nervous, but I'm ready to answer whatever you have, and maybe my message and my journey can help somebody out there who's listening or comes across it. So yeah.
The main thing that really came up whenever we met was like the conversation that we had was a lot of your inspiring like health battles that you dealt with. You also dealt with some pretty deep depression, and then you're also a single father as well. So I think when you put all that together, I was like, man, dude, you have such an amazing story. And I was like, bro, I'm sure it could inspire somebody else out there. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, who is Jeremiah behind the physical like disabilities? Like, what would you say, like one word, or if there's like a quote, like what do you feel like defines who you are?
Me, the caring person that I am. Like when it comes down to it, I'm a very caring person. Like I just want everybody to make sure everybody's good and in a good place. And if that's okay, if I can lay my head down at night knowing people are good, and I'm not gonna wake up to somebody saying that nobody was there and that's why they took themselves, that's important to me. So I would say that that's what it comes down to when it comes to me, is I'm caring.
Yeah. And are you Hispanic too, or you come? Oh, so your parents are from Mexico, or your grandparents?
My great grandparents are, I believe so. That on my mom's side and on my dad's side, but my mom and my dad are both from the United States. So
yeah,
I have Hispanic heritage. Yes.
Yeah, that's the same as me. Both of my great grandparents both were born in Mexico.
Yeah.
And came out here. So because you mentioned that taking care of others is like really important to you. I wonder if that's like a like Hispanic, like Mexican thing for males, because like even for me, I'm the same way. Like I'm always like first to like check on everybody else, and then it's like I'll worry about me last.
Yeah,
or sometimes I don't even worry about myself. You know what I'm saying? And so like,
our well-being is on last thing on our mind. We're just like, is that person okay? Are they doing okay?
Yeah, and that's why I'm excited to get into this episode, because I think there's a lot of, especially for me for the past year, that's why I started the podcast. A lot of people don't know that, but a big part of it was because of like mental health struggles that I was dealing with. And I was like, man, I need something to like get me going. And I think getting inspired by so many people's stories, and like, even outside of my own podcast, like hearing other people's stories, it's like, I've always found it very interesting. Everyone has an amazing background. So I know that's something we're going to get into. What do you wish people understood about you before the amputation? And we'll get into like how it happened and everything, but like, what's something that you wish people would look at before, like, this is the first thing they notice rather than my leg?
That I'm still a human being and that I still notice the stares. Like, it's okay to be curious, but when you see somebody with a disability, to stare at that disability first really doesn't even make us want to be contacted, because it's like you're already looking at us as somebody who's disabled instead of as a person.
Yeah.
Like just because we're missing a limb or we have whatever disability doesn't mean we don't want to be seen as a human who still can understand you and know what's going on.
Yeah. And I think that's how I approached you too.
Yeah.
Like it was like really like, bro, I love your stick. Like, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, I think that was dope because my grandfather, you know, he was very into like Native American culture. And so he loved like woodwork and
Yeah.
he would have a bunch of walking sticks. I think I told you that
Yeah.
at the park too, man. So it just really stood out to me. And I was like, damn, dude, where'd you get that? Like that was really cool.
Yeah, this actually was my grandpa's one of my grandpa's canes. The last thing he gave to me before he passed 2 years ago. And
Yeah.
it actually is Native American woven. That's
that too.
I found that out that it is. So
Yeah.
that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and then that's awesome, man. And for the camera, bro, what is that? Like an eagle? Or no, it's just a handle.
No, it's just a handle.
Oh,
but
okay.
very well crafted though.
Yeah, I was like, it kind of looks like a bird or something, and that's what attracted me, man. But what is your ideal way of like how people should approach you or like ask you?
Just how you would any other person, just talk to them and don't even have to really bring up the disability at first, that could come later on, or you don't even have to bring it up at all. Just as long, if they might, we might ourselves might say, I know you're probably curious because they know, we know
Yeah,
people are curious. We're not, dumb to that fact,
yeah,
but you don't even have to bring it up. Just talk to them how you would greet any other normal person you would see at the park, and just talk to them like you did.
yeah,
And so, yeah, just treat like how we're supposed to, like how you learned in kindergarten. Treat somebody how you would want to be treated.
yeah.
So it's like not trying to go to basics, but that's it. That it really just comes down to that, because you'd be surprised how being treated like you're not missing a limb or not disabled can go for that person, because most of the time we already feel like an outsider.
Yeah.
And then for somebody to not treat us like an outsider makes our day, really makes us feel like we're actually still human and part of the community. And I think that's big, because once you start always feeling like an outsider, it can really damage your mental health, and it can really get to you. And you can be strong and talk to yourself all day, but at the end of the day, you are human, and that'll get to you, especially if you don't have somebody to sit there and talk to or have an outlet.
Yeah, man. And I think that even speaks to me because the biggest thing I was dealing with last year was like anxiety. And I felt different, like, cause I feel like it made me like really avoidant. Like I wouldn't go out, I wouldn't go to
Yeah.
parties, I wouldn't, at the time I didn't have a whole lot of friends either. So it's like no one could really relate to me. So I felt like that outsider. And then it made it like you're right. It did make it a lot worse because it was like it felt like more of a me problem. And it's like now you start questioning like, why am I different? Why am I weird or whatever?
Exactly.
So yeah, man, I got a little bit of taste of that. Not to your level, but it was still like, man, that was a tough time last year for me personally. One of the questions that came up when you mentioned how people stare at you and stuff. Do you ever get like little kids and you like mess with them or something like, man, I'm part robot or something like that?
Yeah, I do. I get kids all the time. They're like, "Hey, he has a robot leg." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm RoboCop." I got to remember that's back in my day.
Yeah.
Y'all probably don't know who RoboCop is. I'm a Transformer.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm part Transformer, bro. I was wondering that because I figured like a lot of kids, especially like 3-year-olds or like toddlers, be coming up to you saying,
especially my son's friends at his school. They're like, "Oh, it's Malachi's dad. He's super dad." They call me super dad because they think I'm part robot.
Dude, that's dope, bro. That's awesome, man. That must put a smile on your face.
Yeah,
bro.
it does. And my son Malachi gets a kick out of it. So it's like, as long as he's smiling and that's something that can help him handle the situation better, then it's good. Because that did take a toll on him when I did lose my leg.
Really?
Yeah, it took quite a bit of toll. He started acting out at school because I was in the hospital and not at home like he was used to. He was used to dad being there.
Yeah.
Mom was at work or something. So
yeah.
So
I relate to that too, man. Cause like when I was being avoidant with anxiety, like I wouldn't go out to places and like same shit, dude. Like my son was acting up. He was doing shit. I'm like, fuck man, I gotta figure this shit out because like he needs a father, like as we all do.
At the end of the day, they're looking up to us now. It's like,
Yeah,
we can't only think about us. It's like when you have a kid, it's like you can think about yourself, but at the same time, you got to pull it together because it's like it could damage them too. And
Yeah.
you're not meaning to, not trying to do it on purpose, but
Yeah.
it does affect them and, give them kind of some trauma a little.
Yeah, man. And I don't think I ever told you this, but my dad, he passed away in 2014. And he had a autoimmune disease called scleroderma. And so he was diagnosed in like 2000. And so roughly like I was like in first grade, kindergarten. And so like what that does is it like hardens your skin. It slowly starts to like attack your organs and stuff. Like he had a heart transplant. And I think that was the biggest thing for me. Like now as an adult, it was like I didn't appreciate it back then, but it's like, dude, he was so present in my life.
Yeah.
You know, like he always, and I was like regardless of what health issues he had, like he was always there. Like he always was like, bro, I'm gonna show up to your basketball games or be there for the family. Like he never let it stop him, you know? And there was times like, because with scleroderma, there's different types of it, but like it hardens his skin. So like he had ulcers on his skin and on his feet and stuff. Like he couldn't even drive. And so like there was times I had to step in to drive for him, but he would like, again, he was still there. You know what I'm saying? He didn't let that stop him. So shout out to you, Pops.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Thanks, man, for always, being there for me and brothers and sisters. And I think that's what you're doing too, man. So I really commend you for what you're doing, man. Like you're trying and like not only that, but you're present. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I gotta be, man. Yeah, I had my stepdad in my life because my real dad wasn't in my life.
Yeah.
I just recently got in contact back with him, but even though I had a stepdad, I didn't have a dad because he was more involved with my sisters than me. And no shade to him. He did the basics though. He made sure I had a roof over my head and I was fed, and I thank him for that. But me and him didn't have that connection until recently. He called, asked for forgiveness, and who am I to say no?
This is your stepdad or your dad?
Stepdad. I called him dad because that's the only dad I knew. So that really taught me how to be there for my son. It's like I tell my stepdad that and my real dad, because I have a connection with both of them now. When we're talking, as the older I get, life's too short to hold on to grudges.
Absolutely.
I can't expect to go anywhere in the afterlife if I'm holding on to this hate or anything animosity in my heart. So
yeah,
I just learned to let go, give that to God, and forgive them. Let them make their peace with what they need to do. But them not being there how I needed to do really helped me be there for my son. Like it helped me see the do's and the don'ts and how to actually be there and what to pay attention to. And because I don't ever want my son to feel like he has to hide something from me. I want him to be like, I can go to my dad and we're going to figure this shit out together.
Yeah.
Like no matter what, my dad, because I'm not going to ever judge my son. Like unless he's out here murdering or raping somebody, he's not gonna get judged for me. Like it's nothing too big. We can't sit down and figure out like dad's gonna be here like no matter what. Even to this day, like when me and his mom split, it's like I'm still here, dude. Like he knows daddy's still gonna be here. Mom's allowed to go be happy and be with who she wants to be with. And daddy will find somebody eventually, but my main focus is you. And don't ever think I'm not going to be here just because me and your mom aren't together. But what I can't commit is his mom's a great mom. I couldn't have chose anybody better for him to have a mom with. So, but yeah. And like me and her are still good friends. She makes sure I'm good when it comes to my health and stuff. But yeah, them not being in my life kind of how I needed to help me become the dad I am today.
Man, that's dope, man. Just all props to you, bro. Like I said, man, you remind me a lot of my dad, bro. Like he just like, man, he's gonna make sure it happens. Like he's gonna make sure he's there. So that's really dope, man. Going into the story of, how your leg got amputated, we talked a little bit like how you were first diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. When was that? Like you were born with that, right? Or
no, it runs in my family, but I did it caught up with me later when I was in the second grade. So around I think 9 or 10.
Yeah.
So
So for people who don't know that are listening, what's the difference between type 1 and 2? And
Type 2, if you diet well and manage your sugar intake, you can basically not have diabetes. Like you can get rid of it. It could go away and you won't have to worry about it. Type 1, your pancreas is literally just not making the insulin needs, so you're stuck with it. Like you can't get rid of it. You can manage it, and it's possible to manage it and everything, but you're stuck with it, and it can cause other complications like healing processes and everything. And but yeah, it's quite a disease. It's a very temperamental disease as well. It's a lot of people think it's just counting carbs and everything, but it's a lot more that goes into it, and it can be stressful and a lot at times and overwhelming for anyone.
Yeah, man, that's why I commend you, bro. Because I mean, you're dealing with the type 1 and you're dealing with the disability as well.
Yeah,
So it's like,
exactly.
damn, bro. Like, man, we're gonna get into how you manage all that, but I think before we start to keep dissecting it, you know, how you operate is really just trying to, understand. So yeah, you were diagnosed with type 1 and then came along the spider bite, right?
Yeah.
And then so talk a little bit about that and how that process turned into, eventually losing your leg.
Yeah, so I ended up getting a spider bite on one of my toes, and then it spread to my other toe, and I ended up going to the hospital because it was no way it was going to heal on its own. But by the time I got there, it was already necrosis, and there was going to go. So I told them to go ahead and take my two toes, just so I could save my foot.
Yeah.
But during the healing process, since I had to go be on my foot again, it spread to my heel. And so that way, once it spread to my heel, it spread to my bone. And at that point, I had to just tell them take the leg and everything. So
Yeah. And then the type 1 had a big part of that.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And it's just, man, did they ever figure out what kind of spider it was? Or was it?
No, we don't. To this day, I don't even know. But I'm just allergic to bugs and period. Like bug bites, period. I'm very bad with.
Like mosquitoes,
Yeah.
ants,
All that.
Damn, dude, man. How do you stay protected in the summer, bro? Because that's like mosquitoes are like everywhere, though.
It's killer, man.
Yeah, you gotta just just be careful.
Yeah, just be careful, watch out.
Just always have spray on you, like bug spray.
Spray. Can't be scared to live life though, man.
Yeah. No, exactly, man. And what do you wish like people understood about like diabetes, like going through your experience with like wounds and type 1 diabetes? Like what are some things that really stand out to you? Like, man, maybe someone just started their journey. Like maybe they just got diagnosed with type 1 or
I would say just making sure that your blood sugars stay regulated, because if it doesn't, it really does hurt the healing process. And if I could have had my blood sugars better under control, I probably could have saved my leg or whatnot. But it is what it is. It happened. But that it's really serious. Like you can't ignore those things when doctors are telling you any little thing. Take it serious when it comes to diabetes, because it can get bad fast.
Yeah.
Like I told you, like yesterday, I had a really bad bottom low, and almost wasn't here. And if it wasn't for my roommate's girlfriend, I wouldn't be here. She saved me, helped me out, called the ambulance, and got me to where they were able to bring my blood sugar up and everything. And luckily, thank God, I'm still here. I'm here for my son and everything. So,
hey, man. What was her name?
Ashley.
Ashley. Shout out to Ashley, bro. Shout out to Ashley.
Oh, for real.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, because you were pulling up to the house, and you told me that on the walk to the studio, and I was like, I cannot believe. And we were having a lot of tech issues as well too. So I was like, man, dude, something's does not want us to put this out here. I know it was kind of like your decision to say, hey, like just cut it off. Like, what was that process like for you mentally? Because I'm assuming like a lot of fear, a lot of like, what did that look like?
Well, at first it seemed like an easy decision. I was like, well, there's really no other option I have. So I got to tell him to take it regardless. So I was like, take the leg. But all the things adjusting didn't hit me until afterwards. And that's what really got to me mentally, was the adjusting part afterwards. And the phantom pains are real. And they say you can still feel that limb there, but it's not there.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Yeah, that's a thing. Like feeling like your foot and leg are still there and it burning and you having to tell yourself it's not there. It really gets to you because you're like, I swear I have my leg still, but it's not there, but I feel the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that mentally gets to you because you're like, I'm hurting, but I don't even have that limb.
Yeah. That's great. So you would feel the burning, like even though it was amputated, you would feel it in your
Yeah, I
foot.
still get those pains today. Like,
wow.
that doesn't go away. And they want you to take this medicine for it, but I'm not big on taking a lot of pharmaceutical drugs just because
Yeah.
I've seen people abuse them. I've seen people OD on them.
Absolutely.
It's just not something for me, you know.
Yeah.
I just chalk it up to a low level pain medicine maybe, and I give it to God, you know. He's gotten me this far, so why not?
Dang, dude. So you're out here taking it like a G, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I mean, like, man, that must be a lot. And then, you know, with that also like followed up, I know you mentioned like the deep depression. Um, what was like the main thing that came up for you? Was it like sadness, anger, numbness, shame, isolation, or was it just kind of like all of it?
It's just all of it. It hits you all at once because
Yeah.
like before the amputation, I was the one, if I wanted to get in the car and roll around and listen to music, it was how I got out and get my thoughts out, like, you know, just
Yeah.
decompress.
Yeah.
I can't do that no more. I can't drive with this leg right now. I don't even know how to drive. I'm gonna have to relearn.
Yeah.
And so that really hit me because once all these emotions that I usually could get rid of by just going for a drive, I can't do. So now I'm sitting in isolation in my own thoughts and stewing in them and not having nobody to talk to that understands what I'm going through. That just adds to it, you know? It's like people can tell you, oh, I'm here for you all day, but it's like, you don't know what I'm going through, man. It's like, and you don't, you don't understand. Like you're trying to help and I appreciate your help, but it's like, you really, at the end of the day, don't understand what I'm going through. And it's like, and then people sometimes tend to, when you go to them with their problems, don't mean to, but they turn it to like, well, I'm going through something too. Well, I didn't come here to hear, sorry, not trying to be selfish, but I am. I didn't come to you to hear that you're going through something too. I just need somebody to hear me out and see where I'm coming from. And that I'm at a breaking point and I need to scream and yell and let it out. And, you know, but at the same time, I don't feel like I can because I'm supposed to be a man and supposed to be strong and all this.
Absolutely.
And then once I do let my emotions out, who's going to use that against me because I'm letting my emotions out, you know?
Man, you're speaking my language, bro. And I think that's what was cool, man, because I think there's a lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not, you know, anybody out there that's watching right now, like there's somebody out there that can relate, you know, and that's maybe probably going through the same thing, you know. Something that really helped me because you know, it is hard to talk to your loved ones and even other males sometimes. Like, you know, my story doesn't compare anywhere near to yours, but like needing that support from others, like when I asked for it, it was like it was mixed, you know. If I talked to my girlfriend or somebody, like she would freak out, like this is too much, you get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
If I talked to my mom or like anybody else in my family, it was like just like you said, man, you got to figure it out. Like you got to tough it out. You got to, you know, do these. And so I was like, damn, bro, like I don't believe that's the right way. I think there's a healthier approach to this kind of stuff. So that's when I started seeking out like therapy, and therapy really helped me. You know, I mean, there's all kinds of therapists, right? But for me, it was really helpful to have like an older male, like who had his life together. And, you know, shout out to my therapist, Jason. I don't know if he's ever gonna see this, but he was awesome, man. And so that's what helped me get those emotions out. Did you have the same kind of outlet with like a therapist, or like what'd you kind of do to, or I mean,
Believe it or not, I mean, I don't, no shades to anybody out there or anything. People have their own beliefs and what they do.
Yeah.
But I couldn't afford therapists, so I just talking to God every day when I had the chance, just letting God know how I felt. You know, He says, "Come as is," and you know that's what I did. You know, He understood that I didn't have hatred in my heart, but I I had anger and I was upset about everything that was going because before I lost my leg, had a great job at Putt Shack. I was doing great there. I was finally fulfilling what I wanted to do in the service industry. I was becoming a trainer. I was getting ready to try out for the program to where I traveled to different Putt Shacks in different states and help train the other servers so they could give great service. So yeah, God. And that's how what you see here right now is because God's had me every step of the way. Uh, and that's my personal belief. Y'all can you can believe whoever you want to believe in. No judgment here, but personally for me, it's God. And I can't thank him enough for getting me this far in life. So,
man, that's beautiful, man. And I agree with you. I second that as well. You know, a lot of it did have to do with prayer because in my eyes, he's the one that provided all these tools for me, like the awesome therapist and, you know, the awesome tools that I have was because of him. But yeah, I 100% agree with you. It started with God and you got to get right with him. And, you know, I think there's so much like hypocrisy around that religion. And it's like stepping around all the like formal stuff and then just like he just wants to talk to you, like he loves you more than anything and he wants to be there for you and help you because like life is hard for a lot of people, you know. And so I think that's amazing that I mean that's all you had, you didn't have therapy or anything.
That's all I had and that's all I needed, you know.
Yeah,
it's he's gotten me through a lot of things, not just this amputation, just everything in life he's gotten me through.
yeah,
And like I said, I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that man upstairs looking out for me.
that's awesome, man.
You know, I have a praying mom and a lot of people who pray for me, and I appreciate them and their prayers because if it wasn't for them, like I said, I wouldn't be here as far as I've gotten at least. And you know, I've learned my lessons, and yeah, I mean, and you can call me a fool or not. I'd rather be safe than sorry. You know, if that day of reckoning does come, at least they can't say I didn't. I'm getting my way up there because I don't know about you. This Texas heat gets to me, so I don't think I could survive in him. Big top. Like, I top at 102 degrees, so thousands and thousands of Celsius burning that every for eternity doesn't sound too great to
like
me.
in a furnace,
Yeah,
like fuck that.
I'm good on that, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. And I wanted to, you know, share a tool with anybody out there that's listening. There's a this place that I found. It's out in Dallas. It's called UT Southwestern. You've heard of that hospital?
Yeah.
They have a residency program. And so at the time last year, I wasn't working either, so I couldn't afford it. But it was affordable, but like I was looking for affordable options.
Yeah.
And so I just want to shout out UT Southwestern. They have a therapist program. So all of their doctors that recently graduated, they have to go through residency. They have to go through a residency program. So you can actually get paired with a doctor for each session is only $20.
Oh, wow, that's not bad.
So yeah, you could do once a week, you know, $20. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. That's like $80 a month. I mean, you could drop $80 at like fast food or like Chipotle in like 2 seconds. So, you know, you can get 4 really good sessions. So I do want to shout that out, and I'll hook you up with them too, man. They're really awesome. But yeah, a lot of these, because they are in a residency program, they can't charge full price because they're trying to get their hours.
Yeah.
And so, the only thing is like, you know, depending on when you get tagged with a doctor, sometimes they graduate or like they're in their residency kind of soon, so you got to like switch to somebody else. But yeah, I found an amazing doctor through there. Her name was Dr. Wick, and I had her for about a year, and she moved on. But yeah, it was really just having that. Like I think even as men, bro, like we need somebody to talk to, and also, you know, God's number one for sure.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share that for people out there that are having, you know, mental issues or depression. And, you know, I'll even share the link with you so you want to check it out. But it's only $20 per hour. And that's it. And you were with the real doctor. So I think it's really helpful, man. And just, you know, kind of, you know, part of this podcast was to spread awareness about, you know, mental health.
Yeah, exactly.
And what tools are out there, you know, and, you know, at some point it got to me to where it's like, at some point, like, dude, like, I just need help, you know, and to have those kind of tools out there is really cool. There's another program. I need to look them up, but they do like a scholarship as well.
Okay.
It's like through either Dallas or Garland. I gotta look it up again, but hopefully I'll share it with people that are watching, and I'll share it with you too. But when you're in prayer, like connecting with faith, was there like a Bible verse, person, or moment? I know you mentioned a lot of your family prayed for you. I'm a big fan of that as well, having other people
Yeah.
pray for you. Was there like a Bible verse or anything else that like really you connected with?
Um, the one that stood for me was if God be with me, who can be against me? Praise.
Mhm.
Because it's like it really stands true. Is if God's with me, then nothing the devil or life throws at me really matters because he has me. I'm protected and I'll be okay and I'll see another day. So it's like I can stress a little, but don't let it get to you all day because then at the end of the day, God has me and I'll be okay.
How do you view like, because we know like we both, worship the Almighty Jesus Christ, right? He has the power to heal. He's the Almighty. Um, how do you view that in the sense of all the pain and suffering that you've gone through? Like, how do you relate that to like, having God behind your side and protecting you,
At the end of the day, I still made decisions that got me into the situation. I could have took better care of my health than I did. So it's not really on God because he gives us free will to do what we want, but that doesn't mean he's still not watching out for us. Because it could have been a lot worse,
Mhm.
but he still had me in the sense of it didn't get as bad. I could have lost a whole leg. I take it as, yeah, it's bad, but it could have been worse.
Yeah.
Is in my eyes, as I see it, and he's never going to let me go through something. He's never going to let his people go through something that they doesn't feel like they can handle. And
Right.
so it was just a test of my faith, and I refuse to let my faith wither no matter what, because I know at the end of the day, like I said, he has me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be this far minus a leg and whatnot. That may it be people are surviving with a lot less. So,
Mhm.
I take it as that too. Is like, I could be off. There's people without limbs at all that are still living and still making a joy out of life. So who am I to complain that I'm just missing my leg right now? Does it suck? Yes. Do I have my down days? Yes. But I'm still here.
Just grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. And I think, maybe this is part of your journey to like to share with others. You knew that you could handle it to where, we're doing the show right now and someone else might like, oh dang,
Exactly.
and that was always my thing was like connections. Like I always loved connecting people and bringing people together and seeing these kind of like relationships kind of start like very genuine. So, but yeah, man, because that's a question that like I get a lot. Like, I'm really big in my faith as well. And people ask me all the time, well, how can these kids get cancer and die from cancer? And, like all these horrible things happen to these good people like you, like how do all these horrible things happen to these good people? And like I think part of it is like God didn't create a lot of this stuff, like he didn't create cancer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of this is not for this world. And so in my opinion, I feel like it's like this isn't our final destination. Like it's to be with him for eternal life, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of the stuff that's here on the earth is not necessarily all good, and so like diabetes, cancer, like all these little things are like that's not from him. And so like why are you gonna hate someone that had nothing to do with that? That's just the part of the world that we live in. Like what do you kind of say to that? Or is you kind of say the same thing, or what is your view on that?
My view to that is, there are evil things in the world, and unfortunately, it sucks that kids get cancer and things happen to good people. But like I said, something bad could have happened even more. They could have been going through, to me, to not have to suffer no more and go be in eternity and not get corrupt by this world.
Mhm.
Sounds like a good trade to me. Like we get to go be in eternity. They don't have to deal with cancer anymore.
No,
They don't have to worry about the evils of this world.
no.
I don't think they get charged bills in the spirit world. So in my eyes, they're living pretty good,
No
you know.
tax, yeah.
You know? And they get to be with the rest of their family and ancestors and whatnot. And who wouldn't want that, to see all your ancestors, catch up on your history in life, and just be, you know, and still get to look out after the ones that you left behind.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it doesn't suck. Yes, it does. Like I said, some things suck, but there's always an upside to the token. You know,
Yeah.
in my eyes.
Absolutely, man. No, that was beautifully said, dude. And throughout this whole process and to where you are now, like, what has like fatherhood mean to you throughout this whole process? I know we talked a bit about it, but like, what does fatherhood mean to you now after all this?
It's changed my world. Like from the moment I held him, I knew I had to change my life and how I did things. Like I was like, you know, from the moment I held him when he was born, I knew right then and there when things weren't ever going to be the same. Like I'm not even, I don't even care if I sound like a wuss. There's times I'm watching kid movies where there's a dad and kid scene, and I'm starting to bawl because like you get the emotion now because you're a father, so you get where they're coming from, and it's like it's changed me. It's like there's nothing I wouldn't do for my son, and I mean that. Like I tear up earth for him.
I was like, man, I recommend do not watch Lion King, bro.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
That's what I'm talking about. You know, you go back and watch that scene, that hits you a lot harder.
Yeah.
Especially when he's like, "Wake up, Dad! Wake up, Sonny!"
Yeah.
So yeah.
And then yeah, because I really relate to Lion King because I lost my dad at an early age. You know, I was barely 20 years old. And you know, now having my son, like, yeah, it definitely hits a lot harder. I'm trying to think of what recent father movies with their kids are there.
There's a Jack Frost.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen it where his dad dies and he comes back as the Jackman the Snowman.
Oh, Jack Frost.
Yeah,
okay.
his kid plays hockey and stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time, but I didn't know how it turned out.
Finding Nemo hits a little different now.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, with Marlin and Nemo. Yeah, he's a single father.
Yeah.
You know, he lost his mother, and he's like trying to watch. I mean, kind of Dory. I mean, she's just like the cool aunt.
Yeah.
Dory's kind of like the cool aunt, but yeah, he's like very protective of his son, and he watches over him. What, like, were you kind of like worried whenever you had the amputation? Like, how worried were you about like your son's reaction? Like,
I was real worried. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I was scared that he was going to be scared of me for a good month or two.
Wow.
But he took it well. I'm really proud of him. He was just like, "It's okay, Dad. We'll get through it." He took it well.
Really?
He took it very maturely for only being 7. I mean, well, it was 5 at the time.
Yeah.
But he took it real well. He was just like, he was like confused. And he was like, "When is it going to grow back?" And I was like, "That's not how that works. That's not a lizard." But, talking to him and just encouraging him that Daddy's going to be okay, and reassuring him and doing things little by little, getting back on my feet and showing him that Daddy's going to be okay. Really helped him adjust to the situation and everything.
That's awesome, man. And he's been like super supportive, even to day one. He's open to help you out and stuff. That's awesome, man. What are little ways that you show up for your son every day?
Just by anytime he calls, I'm there. I'm never gonna miss his call. Anytime he wants to hang out, I'll make it happen. And I always make sure with any of your kids, not just if you have a daughter or any of your kids, don't ever promise them something if you know you can't make it happen. Just say, "I'll do my best to make it happen."
That's dope.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've been promised something from my parent and it didn't go through. Not my mom, just saying my dad in the habit of making promises he couldn't come through with. And that's very disappointing. And it gives your kid trust issues later on in life. And, I'd rather my son know that I'm going to do my best to make it happen. But if not, I will make it up to him.
Yeah. And that's so important. And I'm glad you brought that up because there was an instance with my cousin that I told him, like, he lived in Austin. He was like 30 something at the time. And I was like, "Hey man, I'm going to go hang out with you in Austin." And then I think it was like the day of or something, like I told him I couldn't or something. And like, dude, I've never seen him get so emotional, like towards me. And he was like, "Bro, don't ever do that shit again," because of like his dad was like, he would say he would come and never show up.
Yeah,
And like that, he was already 30 something. And he was like, bro, that shit like carried him. I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, so I'll just shout out to, the listeners, like, man, anytime, just like, what Jeremiah said, man, like anytime you make a promise, I think this goes throughout, even like without outside of your kids, like you don't know what other people go through and their trauma. Like, bro, like really try your best to be there because you don't know everybody's story. You know what I mean? So I'm glad you brought that up, man. That's a really good point. How did, when we talked, your biological father not being around, how do you feel like that affected you, like growing up and until like, I guess to where you are today?
Uh, it affected me. I definitely dealt with a lot of anger for it, just because I didn't understand. And then what really did it for me was when I had my son. It really baffled me, like how you could just not be there for your son and just go and be gone.
Yeah.
Regardless of, not even saying you had to stay with my mom or anything. If that was the case, y'all were having y'all's own separate issues. It's like, how can you still just not be there for your son?
Yeah.
That's what got to me a big time, was I was dealing with the anger for that. But when I really had my son, it just turning into a parent, I just couldn't fathom the idea of not being there for them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's one thing that you hope your son learns from you as a father?
That I always stayed true to me and I always did the right thing.
Yeah.
That, I didn't care what other people think, and I still to this day don't, because the only person, like I said, can judge me is God.
Yeah.
That's who's the only judgment I do care about. And it's like, not because somebody in life is gonna talk. There's always gonna be somebody talking about you in life.
Yeah.
You're never gonna stop people from talking about you. And so I just wanted to take away that staying true to yourself and what you believe in and doing the right thing is always gonna pay off in the long run. And that's what I always strive to do.
Yeah, man, that's amazing, man. When you look at your life after the amputation and now you're in this like readjusting period, what everyday things are harder for you now that people like don't realize?
Going for walks, just simply to be able to like just go walking. Like I can only walk for so long before I'm having to go back home and just lay down and be in the bed all day. Uh, Even sitting, like, I can only sit for so long to where I'm gonna have to go home and prop up my leg and
Mhm.
do better and everything, because it takes a toll on my life. The little things I took for granted, for like being able to go down the street and walk or go running, I miss. And
Yeah.
this is coming from somebody who hated running. I'm like, oh, you want to go on a run? Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wish I could do on a run
Yeah.
right now. Like, it's like, I know I can. You got to go buy different prosthetics and stuff, and that takes money
Exactly.
and stuff to
Yeah.
do. And it's not like I can just get up like I used to,
Yeah.
or even simply just being able to get up and go to the bathroom. Now I have to get up and re-put my leg on. That's a hassle. Like,
Mhm.
you don't realize how you'll miss a limb once it's gone.
Yeah.
It's a toll.
Yeah.
It's tiring, and it's a constant reminder every day. And that's why you have to be strong, because it could get to you. It does get to you, because it's like you really can't just hop up and do what you want. You got to take extra steps to get to do it.
Yeah. Damn, man. And what would you say is the hardest thing to relearn?
The walking,
Learning how to rewalk. Yeah.
because you want to, but at the same time, your brain's hesitating because it knows you can't really feel that limb there. You feel something there,
Yeah.
but it's not like the same feeling of having your limb
The
and
pressure on the feet and having all the nerves and all that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've seen they had like this kind of like curve thing for the prosthetics where it's like it's like a curved prosthetic thing you can like bounce on.
Yeah, that's like the athletic one.
What would you say, like let's say there's someone out there that has a very similar story and back history as you do. What would you say to someone that hit that dark spot right now? Like maybe he's watching on TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram. Like what would you say to that person that is in that dark spot?
Find a healthy outlet,
Mm-hmm.
because, like I said, as a man, you do get the stigma that you're supposed to be strong, but you're human and you do feel. And it's better for you to let it out in a healthy way and get it off of you than to hold it in and make a decision you're going to regret. because I'm not gonna lie, there are times where I wanted to end it. But at the end of the day, I'm like, that's no good to my son. My son's not gonna know, he's gonna be mad at me for one, he's gonna hate me. I know it. So there's no me going on in the afterlife and him loving me. He's gonna hate that I did that, that I just decided to end it and left him behind and then to share more memories with him. And I just knew I couldn't do that, you know. At the end of the day, I gotta still be here for him, and he has life to go through, and I have lessons that I can teach him to help him get through that. And it's like it's okay to feel weak and it's okay to feel vulnerable because you are human. You're gonna go through that, and just find somebody or something healthy to let that out or get you out of that headspace. As long as it's a healthy habit and a healthy outlet.
And then your outlet was Jesus, right?
Yeah,
Or
it was just talking to God, just letting talking to him every chance I got, or just listening to music. I could still, throw on my headphones and just dive into music and just let my thoughts just drift. And
yeah, that's awesome, man. What should someone do if they are suffering silently? Is it finding that healthy
it's finding that healthy
outlet,
outlet,
right?
or if you do, I mean, find your local suicide hotline and call them. Like legit, you might be talking to a stranger, but you'd be surprised how just getting something off your chest and just being able to let it out will make you feel so much better than just doing the wrong thing and committing suicide or hurting yourself, even not even going full suicide. But uh call those hotlines, take advantage of that, or find somebody that if you call, they're gonna answer.
Yeah.
Because, it's important to have that one person or that something you can do and rely on. But yeah.
I'm glad you said that. There's a hotline. I gotta find the number for it, but if anybody listening right now, I believe it's called Metro Care in Dallas. They have a 24. It's not 24-hour, but like during business hours, you can call anytime during their business hours, and they'll talk to you for hours. Like they're like same thing as the UT Southwestern. They're trying to get into psychology or school, so they do this kind of like programs to get their hours and to say like, hey, I did this hotline for suicide prevention or whatever.
And don't feel ashamed if you have to. If it comes down to it,
Yeah.
hospitals allow you to come in, and if you tell them like I'm not feeling safe with myself, they'll help you. They'll get you into somewhere to help you out with that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
yeah, they'll help get you into like a little home and a little place to help you, and they'll find you a psychologist to work with because I'd rather you go to that place than be in the grave, honestly, because everyone in life deserves to be here and live.
Absolutely.
Because they're going through dark times doesn't mean they, all is lost.
Yeah. And that's a good segue to like something that you and I were talking about too, man, starting like a men's group.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeremiah and I we talked about starting like a men's group to where we can allow others dealing with amputation or just like general anxiety or whatever, to have a safe space for other men to like, man, let's just go hang out and talk about this because surprisingly enough, like sometimes your family isn't enough.
Yeah,
They're not professionals. They don't know. And especially if they're younger than you, or maybe everybody's got their own problems. But whenever you come into a space that's like, man, these guys get me, you know what I'm saying? Like I would have loved to have like a men's group that was like, hey bro, we're here. And I would love to have had you back when I was doing my shit. You know what I'm saying? It would be cool to reach out to Jeremiah, like, hey bro, let's just go, get a beer or something,
Exactly.
So I think that's something that's in the works. Like this is definitely not our last show. I know we'll keep doing shows just to keep, spreading your message, but especially once we start getting some kind of men's group for men's to like reach out to that have sons or kids or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool, man. And we'll do another show to promote it and keep going from there. So talking about your purpose and your comeback, do you feel like God kept you here for a reason?
Yeah, I do. Just because I've kept the faith, I've kept the trust, and I believe I'm here to, help somebody get through what they're getting through. Just helping his people realize that there's people out here who are willing to listen and do hear you and know that it's okay. That you're falling on dark times, but it's okay to get back up and keep going. It's not the end of the world, and it's gonna be all right. You just gotta be willing to get back up. As long as you're willing, there's nothing you can't get through. And I think that's why I'm still here, is to help people understand that if you keep the will and the faith, you can manage and get through it and get back on your feet.
Yeah, man, and keep inspiring people as well. And I know you're the best at that. So, what does your comeback mean to you?
To show my son that, you know, you got to get back up. That life is going to hit you hard, and sometimes it hits some people harder than others, but got to get back up. Like you can't quit. I don't ever want him to be a quitter. Quit ain't in our game, you know.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I'm Mexican, not Mexican.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. I love that saying too, man.
Yeah, so it's like we're Americans, not Americans.
Yeah. And that's the same with my dad too, man. He dealt with a lot of health issues too. But he never gave up. He was always present. He always showed up. And I think you resemble a lot of that. So, man, your son's going to be super proud of you and attached to you and grateful for you, man, when he gets older, because it's only 1 + 1 = 2. Right. And that's exactly how I felt about my dad, man. So grateful. And, you know, the times I do get down, I always reflect. My dad went through 10 times worse than what I'm going through right now. And he still showed up. He was still present. So extremely grateful for him, and want to let you know your son's watching you, bro. And he's gonna be able to reflect on you, bro. Like, man, my dad went through, I mean, he was like, they call you super dad, you know what I'm saying? So that's very fitting, bro. So he's gonna be looking back at you, bro. So yeah, man, I can't thank you enough for being here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
I want to end up before we get into the lightning round, what are you believing God has in store for you in your next season? What are you looking forward to?
Just blessings, you know.
Yeah.
Because I've gone through the testament and the test and everything. So now I feel like, you know, this year is gonna be my year. You know, things are gonna start going right for me. And as long as I keep that faith and keep that belief, it's gonna keep going right. And things are already turning out good this year. So he's already answered some prayers that I've been praying for. So
yeah, you attract it. Yeah, you attract his blessings you put in first, and you attract it. And I'm a big believer in that. And I think once I started focusing on him, I started attracting a lot of great things, like the podcast, my job, and all these other things, you know, friendship with you know what I'm saying? So I attract a lot of this. So, you know, I give all glory to God, because once you put him first, you make him the center. He's like a magnet. It's like you bring that magnet, your number one in your heart, it starts. You know, you're trying to like, what? Like, I never would have thought I would have been in this position or been able to get to where I am today. So
yeah, exactly.
I agree with you, man. God's, you know, amazing, man. So yeah, lastly, man, just the quick lightning round, and then we'll end it off. Couple questions: coffee or energy drink?
Coffee.
Yeah. Okay. You have like a specific order, or you just black, or what?
I do these coffee drinks from this company called Rifle Coffee. So I usually get their coffee drinks.
Okay.
So I don't have like a specific one. It's like a vanilla. They have a different flavor can of coffee, iced coffee that I get. So.
Oh, nice. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Night owl? Okay. Yeah. I know it's getting late, so I was getting nervous. I was like, bro, if he's a morning person,
I'm usually up late at night anyways.
Yeah. Favorite meal after a long day?
Favorite meal after a long day? Oof. I'm a big back at heart, so that's kind of hard. I like food in general.
Yeah, I couldn't tell.
If I had to choose, I would love my mom's carne and papas with Mexican rice.
Dang, man, that sounds perfect. Did she do homemade tortillas too?
Yeah, she knows how to. So, yeah. My mom could throw it down.
Yeah,
not just Mexican food, all kinds of cuisine. You know, she's good in that kitchen, man.
I feel bad for people that don't have like that home cooking type food, man, because it'll heal your soul. It'll heal your soul, bro. For sure. Favorite thing to do with your son?
We play this game called Lacrana, and it's like a Disney card playing game. They all have.
Oh, a Carta. Yeah.
Lacrana, yeah. We just got into it. It's a blast. Me and my friends play with him and his daughters,
Yeah.
and it's a real thing. I follow this page called the 𝐉𝐞𝐫𝐞𝐦𝐢 Crew on TikTok. They're cool. They actually sent my little man some cards, so shout out to them. That was cool for y'all, of y'all to do. But yeah, we've been able to connect over that. That's like our bonding thing. We play rounds, and he has a blast with it. And now that he has a Switch too, we play. He likes to play Mario Kart and Mario Party. So we play that too. So
That's dope, man. I need to get into that. I love cards, but I'm really big and I'm a nerd at heart. So
yeah, exactly.
and my girlfriend, she's really big into Disney.
Yeah, she's love it too.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, we might get into that. So when my son, he turns 3 in August 4th, my son turns 3. But like if me and her already playing it, like he can like grow into it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
and they
cool.
got a new set coming out just called Attack on the Vines. It's based off of the Monster Inc. characters and Red characters. Yeah, like they do Pixar characters too and everything. It's really cool.
Dang, dude, I need to check that out, man. Song that motivates you.
Ooh, I didn't even think about that one. Shoot, I'd have to probably say Eminem. What is that song? This is your chance or something like that. Last chance or whatever it's called.
Okay.
Or if you had one opportunity, one that played in 8 Mile.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head because I really wasn't thinking about it. But yeah, I would say that.
I need to check it out. I forgot. I saw 8 Mile, but I don't remember all the songs on there. Bible verse or faith phrase that keeps you going. I know you mentioned the other one before, like if God's with me, who can be against me? Is there anything else that
no, honestly, that's the one I stick by, if God be with me, who can be against me?
Yeah.
And I'll actually also no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Right.
That's another one that I stick with as well.
Yeah, that's another powerful one too. A couple more questions. Movie title for your life.
Movie title for my life. When shit hits the fan. That's literally my life.
Coming to theaters near you. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah, when shit hits the fan. One word for your comeback.
One word for my comeback would have to be empowering.
Empowering. That's awesome, man. Well, Jeremiah, I mean, I can't thank you enough, man, for how vulnerable you are, but like sharing your own personal story. Man, I can't wait to continue to, build our relationship as friends and seeing, who else we can reach. And, hopefully this helps somebody else out there. And as we continue, start working on creating that men's group and just seeing what happens and, having more people reach out and be a part of, this journey. Cause it's not easy being a man. I know we get we get criticized the most and, a lot of what happens, anything that bad happens is always the man that, it's always the man that gets looked at first,
Exactly.
So to have a community that understands that has, like, I've had my struggles, Jeremiah had, you had your struggles. And to be able to have a safe space for like, man, we get it, where this is a no judgment zone. This is really a safe space. I would really love to create that just because I would have, like I mentioned earlier, like I would love to have that when I needed it back then. Because I was reaching out to family and friends and they just don't understand. And a lot of them are going through their own issues. So I was like, damn, dude, I couldn't relate to them. But like, if I was talking to people that understood, that went through the same shit, it would have been like, man, dude, I would have got better a lot quicker. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think what we're trying to do is spread positivity and love. And, I'll end it off with, that's the number, Jesus says there's the most important commandments, which is, love God with all your heart, body, and soul. But number 2 is to love others as yourself. Like that's the number 2 thing that he highlights. And when you love others and show them affection, like he loves that. So I know you and I are both big Jesus fans and, he's our father and, to be able to spread that to others, I think would be really cool, man. And I know that would make him proud. For sure. But awesome, Jeremiah, for people that do want to reach out to you, that do want to follow you or have any questions, what's the best way for them to follow you or reach out to you at?
You can follow me on my Instagram. It's JAY106739. or you can follow me on Facebook. It's just my name, Jeremiah Garcia. If you want to follow me, add me as a friend, and you can message me. That's fine. Yeah.
Cool. And then, yeah, guys, if y'all want to reach out to me on podcast 23, you guys can message me directly on there. I'm on all social media, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. So if you guys have any questions about mental health, or if you want updates on, Jeremiah and I's group that we're going to be starting, please reach out to us. We're all about this is a safe space. If I'm busy, I know Jeremiah would love to talk to you.
Yeah, I got time in my head.
So one of us will get back to you, man. But thank you again, Jeremiah. Man, I can't thank you. I could have asked for nobody else better than you to be my first show, man. So in person. So thank you, man. So yeah, everybody out there, this is Jay Lear with Podcast 23, and I'll catch you in the next one. All right, peace out, everybody.